guys, welcome to another video. Now, this particular video, I'm dabbling in stamping again. Okay, I've said this before, I'm not perfect at stamping, but I'm giving it a red hot shot, right? I'm giving it a crack, seeing what I'm like. I've pulled out a couple of stamps. Now, these ones I grabbed out of a $2 bin. This particular set was, I honestly can't even tell you. Can you see how I'm not the best at stamping? So I'm a bit hit and miss. Now, the one thing that I have worked out that really helps me when I'm stamping is if I've got this softer platform underneath, and it allows, if I press just the right amount, this is an old mouse pad, by the way, and it allows me to stamp evenly and get it across everything. So I'm just getting in and I'm just doing it. So here we go. Let's hope I don't stuff it up. So I decided that I wanted to use, I'm using my VERSAFINE ONYX black ink. That is an excellent one for stamping fine details, and it's a permanent ink. So you can, while it's still wet, you can put clear embossing powder over it, and you can then guarantee that it's waterproof. You can do that. I didn't bother, and I didn't have any problem with it. I've done nothing to this cardstock other than purely and simply stamping straight on it. That's it. That's all I'm doing. So I'm stamping right off the edge, and you know what? It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. So I'm keeping it. Now, I clean my stamp with water. I don't know why, because it's not a water-based ink. But anyway, now, it's at this point that I was questioning whether I was going to be able to continue and do this, and I wanted to just go stamp crazy. That's what I wanted to do. And I wasn't too sure whether I was going to put my photos horizontally or vertically on the page. I didn't know if I was going to have this border top and bottom or side and side. Again, horizontal or vertical, I don't know. So stick with me, guys. I do figure this out, and I actually, when I get to the end of it, I absolutely love the layout. Now, I'll be honest with you, when I did my first lot of stamping on a layout last week, when I say my first lot of stamping, I don't consider myself a stamper at all. I have not really had very much practice with stamping. So to say that I was absolutely floored with the fact that some of you guys mentioned to Natasha Foote from New Zealand, she's a Kiwi, and she popped a comment on my page. I fangirled for days over that. I could not believe that she watched something I did. I was amazed. It blew my mind, because she's amazing. She does amazing work. If you haven't checked her out, she's a card maker, but like all paper craft, it doesn't matter if you're a scrapbooker or if you're a card maker. The techniques can be taken from either or. So I quite often watch card makers because they do it in a smaller, I find like Gina K Designs, her designs and her stamping is beautiful. Natasha Foote, beautiful, creates amazing look layouts. But I scrapbook, I don't do cards, but I still watch them because it makes me feel like, you know what, I could probably do that. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my Distress inks. So this is I've actually pulled my Distress inks out a couple of times in the last couple of weeks. I'm very impressed. So I'm matching the colours that were in Angela's pajamas. She was wearing a nightie, and it just looks like a t-shirt from the photos, but it was a nightie, and it had this pink, but it wasn't a hot pink. It was a sort of worn lipstick pink, and a green, like a like a peppermint green, and a purple. So I thought, you know what? There's my colours. If I'm going to stamp in black, then I'm going to go to town with this and see what happens. Now, I bought these stamps well over 12 months ago. They were literally in the $2 checkout bin at KAISERCRAFT and my local store down the road here. And I bought them when I was trying to increase my, what everyone calls their stash. I was trying to increase my stash to be able to bring you guys different content. That's when I bought all these things. And I absolutely love these stamps, and I have not used them. That's the worst bit. I bought the stamps and I never used them. So I don't know what I was thinking, but as you can see, all these stamps that I'm putting down, I've got the mouse pad underneath, so I've got a little bit of cushion. It allows the stamp, for me, I don't know if this is the right way or the wrong way to do it, but for me, it allows me to press a little bit harder on the stamp, but it doesn't squish the stamp, if that makes sense. So all you hardcore stampers out there, any advice you can throw my direction, I would love it. I think I pulled this one off not too bad. I'm just going for these particular stamps. They're not line making stamps. They're sort of frames. They're, you know, medallions, frames. They're not really mandalas. They're just, and I just sort of thought if I pull them, there's two different packs there, and I'm just pulling different bits off different ones. I will be honest, I have not taken them off the plastic from the day they were purchased, and I did actually break one of my stamps taking it off. So, FYI, if you're like me and you have not stamped very much, be careful, because these photopolymer stamps, they stretch, they do stretch, but not always. Sometimes they just snap. So again, advice on that. If there's a particular way that you go about it, let me know, you know, if I could have perhaps not broken that stamp. And I need to get a larger stamping block. If you've got a larger stamping block, not a stamping platform, but a stamping block, if you've got a larger one, can you please put it in the comments below where you got it from? I think the largest stamping block I have, and I'm going to measure it, so apologies if you hear any clunking. The two largest stamps, and I have hay fever, by the way, I'm not sick, I've just got hay fever because welcome to winter. So the largest one I've got is 6 inches long by 2 inches wide. And the smallest, or the largest square block I've got is 3 by 3. So I really need the next size up, because I do have some stamps that I could do more with them. So see this one that I've got there, it's a 3 by 3. This is the stamp I broke, by the way. So I have to sort of place it perfectly where you don't see the half I broke. But you know what? We make it work. It's what we do as crafters. So I should have left it back up where it was, just ever so slightly, but it works. It was a broken stamp, and look, it's on there and you wouldn't even know. So I was being super duper uber careful though, not to drop it on my page. But see, once you put the photos across there like that, it's coming together. It's just giving you a background. When I do these layouts, guys, what do I want you to get from it? One, I'm weird and quirky and I just do stuff. But two, I want you to be willing to give things a go that are maybe outside your comfort zone. This stamping for me is new. Stamping, well, it's not new to me. I've had stamps for years, but I don't consider myself a stamper. So for me, this process for me is new. I love making mixed media with stamping and all that sort of bizzo, but creating a layout like this that is majority stamping, if you come in here real soon and you muff it up, you've wrecked the whole page. That's stressful for me, but I really liked doing this. It's quite addictive. So I'm raising up my photos on some foam, and that's when this next bit, I will be honest with you, if you don't enjoy the colouring process, skip to the end and check out what I did at the very end. I also stamped my journaling on this page as well. So I'm coming in now. It really didn't take me very long. So if you want to just quickly watch it, it doesn't take very long. And I do have it sped right up as well. So I went through with just my distress inks. There's no oxides. The difference here, I'll let you know, the reason I'm using the distress inks as opposed to the oxides. The oxides, as soon as you add water to them, they oxidize, right? So then they will sit on top of your black stamping. So it'll make it look a little bit muddy. If you're going for that mixed media look, that's fine. However, that's not what I was going for. I was kind of leaning more to letting these stamps like hold their own, and I just wanted to add some bright colors to the background and just see where we go with it. And I absolutely love how this turned out. I really, really do. And these photos are, and I have so many, I know, you guys must think my kids are crazy because I'm always doing videos where my kids are pulling silly faces, but that's okay. We all have those photos, and they're the photos I love scrapbooking of my kids because it shows their true personalities. And Angela, at this point, she had already been through quite the hardship with, medically by this stage, and to have her being silly and laughing, we will take that all day long. All day long. Sorry, I just need a mouthful of water. Hay fever. I did test it. I will have a full list of the colours that I use down below. I could sit here and prattle them all off for you, but that's quite boring. What am I doing? Today I've popped up, I say today, so this was a couple of days ago, I popped up a poll up on Facebook, and I'm going to pop it up on YouTube as well. I want to know what stamping companies do you enjoy watching and using and all that sort of thing, like watching video wise, and or companies that you like to get your stamps from. Is it important for you to have price? Is price a really important thing for you? This is my gum Arabic solution that I use with my mica powder, by the way. That little recipe is up on Facebook. I absolutely love, love, love that stuff. And I haven't been using it as much lately, so I will be dipping back into that, I think. Now, so I want to know what's the most important thing when you buy a stamp? Is it price? Is it where it came from? Is it the company you're purchasing from? Are you prepared to pay a little bit more for customer service? Are you someone that prefers to support local? Are you somebody that jumps on the Temu wagon and buys stuff from Temu? I'm not judging anybody, by the way. I'm just curious. And I think as if I'm curious, there's got to be other people out there that are just as curious, right? So now this is where I use this particular stamp, and this is why I bought this stamp, because I wanted to use, it's been in my collection for like a year and haven't used it, but I remember I bought the stamp specifically because I wanted to use it one day as journaling, and this was a perfect one, and I used it. So I was really happy with that. I got my $2 worth. Now, this is the teeniest, tiniest little stamp. I know, I'm stamping directly to a photo. Can you believe I'm doing that? If that stuffed up, I would have wrecked the whole thing. But you know what? We just live and learn, and we go for it. Sometimes, just jump. So I've called this page Love. I've just put one little tiny love there. I know usually, guys, you know me, I have a big giant bold title, but today it was the discreet one. See the top of that circle? It's bothering me that it doesn't have, so it looks like it's missing something. As soon as I did that, it was right. It looked like it was full. It did mean I had to colour it in and all the rest of it and play around, and that was okay. But yeah, so I just added some colour to it and I was all happy days with it then. It just looked like it was missing something out. Check out that gold. How nice is that gold? That is when I mix the gum arabic powder with water and mica powder. That's all that's in it. And they sit on my desk in those little tiny makeup containers, and they dry out and they just sit there dry, and all you do is add a little bit of water to it, mix it around, and it's good to go again. So it's fantastic. It's so good. And it's a really affordable way of adding lots of shimmer and shine to your page, because I know that, especially, hey, I'm a homeowner, so it's hitting me too. It's hitting us hard. Like, we've been in our home since 2007, so we're not new to the market, and it's starting to make us sit up and go, less takeaways, definitely no extra spending. You know, is it? And I'm hoping everybody out there is coping with it a little bit better than we are. I mean, we're not destitute or anything like that. Like, don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, it definitely, we're starting to notice it. And if we end up with a couple more rate rises, maybe I'll be looking for more cheap and cheerful things. So, but believe me, I have got enough stuff stashed and stocked up in this particular craft room that I would not have to buy anything for a very long time, and I could make videos for at least 12 months, I would reckon. Yeah, probably 12 months. I just have to buy white cardstock. That's probably all I'd have to buy. Now I'm just adding some beads. Now these ones I got, they're black and they've got a nice reflective coating. You can see them shimmering up the top there when I move the paper. These ones I got from AliExpress. They're my cheaper ones, and I go to town when I use them because they were pennies. They were $1.39 a pack. So, and that's Australian. So it's pretty good. So now I'm just adding those. And then I think my page is pretty much done. I've gone ahead, I've added a little bit of extra yellow. You can see where the distress oxide. There's no oxide on the page, Karen. The distress inks, because they're transparent, I find that I can, what I did is, because I didn't have anything down on the paper, it's not water, it's not waterproofed, it's not sealed, it doesn't have gesso on it, it doesn't have any of that sort of stuff. I pretty much feel like I can build up I can do a layer, let it dry, and then do another layer, and it sort of sits on top of it. So it gets a little bit brighter, but it doesn't have that oxidization to it. And that's what I love about the Distress inks. And they're the 1-inch cubes. KAISERCRAFT Obsession does have those cubes in stock if you want to purchase them. I know they've got a lot of stock of lots of the colors. So if you want to just buy the minis. And here is can you see the blingy bits? I love it. Absolutely love how this turned out. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you for sticking around. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you jump on board. And see the stamping? That could have gone so poorly. It really could have. But it did not. And there is a close-up of my stamped journaling. Yeah. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, all that sort of stuff. Did I get it? Did it work? Do you reckon it works or not? Let me know. And I will be back with another video tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Bye for now.